You've been in this dream for 10 years, boy. Outside, only 2 minutes have passed. Aoi jolted upright on a cold stone floor, his mind scrambling to catch up.
That's insane. 10 years? I'm only 16.
Time flows differently here. 1 year inside is 13 minutes outside, and you cannot leave until you are ready.
The old shinobi's eyes held a weary patience, as if he'd explained this 100 times before.
Leave? Ready for what? This has to be a genjutsu, but why does it feel so real?
Resist or train, but the clock doesn't stop.
Aoi looked at the misty peaks and training posts. For once, freedom didn't mean a nap.
No exams, no sensei yelling, just time, all the time in the world.
Then we begin. Laziness won't save you, but a lazy mind can be malleable.
6 hours earlier, in the Leaf Academy's Genin classroom, Aoi was already breaking records for consecutive naps.
Aoi, wake up! You disgrace! The meditation exam starts in 2 minutes.
Gimme 5 more minutes. I'll meditate so hard they'll promote me to chunin on the spot.
You'll fail again, and I'll personally recommend you for permanent latrine duty.
Meditation's the worst. No way to cheat. You either do it or you don't. They'll probably fail me again.
When the exam began, Aoi's plan was simple: fake it. But his hands moved on their own, slipping into a seal he never learned. The chakra meter on the wall dipped, then twitched upward, a single needle quiver.
Focus, all of you. Clear your minds completely. Let your chakra settle into a calm, still pool.
Aoi's head drooped. A stranger. Deeper sleep pulled him under, swallowing the classroom whole. And then he was somewhere else, 10 years older, staring at an ancient master who'd already been waiting.
Pick up that bakken. If you can land a single hit on me, I'll let you rest for a day.
Aoi lunged and tripped over his own feet before the swing even started.
Pathetic. Your laziness has rotted your muscles. Again.
This is pointless. Why should I sweat for decades just to be ready?
Because the alternative is spending decades staring at a wall. The clock doesn't care about your tantrums.
I've been here for 3 months. 3 months. And I can't even hold a stance.
He tried again, teeth gritted. This time keeping his balance but missing Kotaro by a mile.
Better. Your footwork is still an insult, but you didn't fall. Next week, we double the hours.
Fine, I'll play your game. Train until my body breaks, then wake up and forget all this.
So the first dream year bled into the next, and Aoi remained the worst student Kotaro had ever suffered. Spring became winter, then spring again. Somewhere in the second year, Aoi stopped counting the days.
This old man runs me ragged every sunrise, so why do I feel lighter? That last counter, the way you deflected my kick, my mother used that same pivot.
There are only so many ways to throw a punch. Focus on your own stance.
He knows something, but he'll never tell.
Another year, and Aoi carved a B-rank fire jutsu into the mountainside. The rock still smoked when Kotaro finally nodded.
Adequate. Perhaps you aren't a total waste.
5 years inside this dream, and I am stronger than any sensei at the academy. Maybe this place isn't a curse.
The misty peaks became home. His old life in the classroom faded to a blur.
I'll be ready. Whatever it takes.
Aoi returned from the mountain hunt with 3 broken ribs and a poisoned wound, barely dragging himself to the village healer.
Don't move. The poison's spreading, but I've pulled worse from stubborn shinobi.
Her chakra feels like warm sunlight. I've never been healed this gently before.
You are letting yourself get soft, boy. Remember, this place is a training ground, not a home.
Then let me train to protect it. Even a dream can be worth bleeding for.
A simple wedding. Kotaro officiated with a heavy silence, as if sealing a coffin, not a union.
I promise to stand by you, in this world and any other.
That's what scares me most. that there's no other world beyond this one.
He held her hands and smiled, hiding the growing knot in his chest.
If waking means losing her, I'd rather sleep forever.
2 dream years later, a restless wail split the mountain night. Aoi held his daughter, and the weight of her tiny body rewired his heart.
She's perfect. Every clumsy step, every laugh, they're mine to guard. Nothing will touch her.
But Kotaro barely looked at Akari. He drove Aoi into harder training, yet avoided the child like a ghost. Years spun like leaves. Akari passed her genin exam at 12, a prodigy who made Aoi forget he ever failed.
Hey, old man, don't hold back. I'll surpass you by dinner.
She had his recklessness and Mei's gentle steel. The perfect shinobi, better than he was at her age.
She gets her stubbornness from you, but the kindness, that's all her own.
And her chakra control from you. Without that, she'd be as hopeless as I was. Kotaro hadn't spoken to us in years. His silhouette grew fainter each season, like the dream itself was withholding something.
They were a family, forged in a dream, and like all dreams, Aoi knew, deep in his marrow, that they were too beautiful to last. One autumn morning, Mei didn't rise. Her chakra network was frayed, unraveling like a scroll thrown into rain.
Don't look so scared. I've healed worse patients. Remember when you came back with poison?
I've scoured every herb manual, every medical seal. This isn't a poison or a curse. It's just absent.
She is a construct of this dream. Attachment is the sharpest blade you will ever face. Let her go.
Construct? She gave me a daughter. She held me when I bled. Don't you dare call her unreal.
He tried the forbidden cleansing jutsu from Kotaro's hidden scrolls. It charred his own chakra black and did nothing.
Promise me, Akari will still smile. She'll still chase sunsets over the mountain. That's enough for me.
She slipped away at dawn, when the light was golden. Aoi held her hand until the warmth faded completely. At the funeral, Akari stood like a statue as incense burned. Kotaro watched from the shadow of a pine, his eyes unreadable.
30 years of brutal training, a grandmaster's body, and I couldn't save one person. What was any of it for?
A year after Mei's death, Akari volunteered for a solo A rank. The mountain shook when the battle began.
I'll make her proud, Dad, even if I have to break every bone in my body.
Aoi felt her chakra flicker, 3 ridges away, then collapse. He ran faster than he had in 30 years.
Number, not her too. The universe can't be this cruel. She's all I have left.
He found her in a crater, a dead behemoth beside her. She smiled up at him, blood on her lips.
You came. I wanted to be like you, strong enough to protect everyone.
Aoi's healing chakra flared white-hot, but her network was already unraveling, the same way Mei's had.
Don't cry. I'll see Mom. Tell her I didn't run. I went down fighting, just like you taught me.
She went still. The mountain wind was the only sound. Aoi screamed until his voice broke, then sat in silence for hours.
You have nothing left to lose now. Perhaps this is the point. You can't stay here forever.
After Akari's burial, Aoi walked to the mountain peak and sat in lotus. He did not move for 4 dream years. Time lost meaning. He unraveled the bloodline seal thread by thread until he could feel the dream's entire fabric.
I can sense the edges now. This world is a jutsu woven with a love so desperate it hurts.
A vision sliced through his trance. A younger Kotaro, hair black as ink, cradling a newborn sealed with a glowing bloodline mark.
That seal. It's the exact one my hands made before I fell asleep. That baby is me.
The image seared deeper. Kotaro wept, pressed his forehead to the infant's, and sealed himself into the very dream he now guarded.
You are not just a dream spirit. You are the anchor of this place. Who are you? Really?
The dream is my seal. I have been here for 50 years, waiting for you to open that door.
Why? Why trap us both for decades? What are you preparing me for?
The final lesson. When it's done, you will understand. Now, come. It is time to leave this sanctuary. I am your grandfather. This bloodline is mine. Everything you endured was to awaken it.
He lifted his sleeve. The seal glowed, identical to the one from the vision, the mark that branded him as an infant.
Grandfather, the dream was no accident. It was a cage built to force this awakening.
Our clan was hunted to extinction. I sealed myself here to train you when you came of age, the last heir.
You watched me marry May. You officiated. Were those years just another lesson in suffering?
Keitataro's jaw tightened. His silence was a wound deeper than any blade.
Were they real? Or did you craft them like training posts for me to love and lose?
I cannot tell you that. Not yet. That answer is the final lesson.
Then you are still a liar. A warden who let me bury my own daughter while calling it training. Fine. End this lesson. I'll leave your prison, but I won't forgive you. Not ever.
The dream began to crack. Cherry blossoms turned to ash in midair. Mountains groaned like wounded animals. The sky bled false colors.
My time is ending. The seal will break, and you must choose. Stay in this dying world or return.
Stay here, in a grave of memories. There's nothing left for me, only ghosts.
The dojo where he taught Akari crumbled. The healer's hut where May smiled dissolved into mist. Nothing remained.
I never lied about one thing. Some things here were more real than you can yet understand. Trust that pain.
More real? What does that even mean? He's taunting me with half-truths. Spare me the riddles. Just open the gate. I am done with your lessons and your silence.
A tear escaped Kotaro's eye. He raised a hand, and the monastery gate shimmered with blinding light. Aoi squinted against the light.
Then go. But when you wake, remember this. Love is never a construct. It endures.
Love is never a construct. He said that before. When I married May, he called it a construct. Did he regret that? You've been lying from the start. What are they, really? Tell me now, before I walk through that gate.
Kotaro's hands wove the final release. The seal on his arm burned bright, then shattered into a flood of images. A vision of May, not as the gentle healer he knew, but as a proud kunoichi, headband gleaming, standing in a sunlit village he'd never seen.
That's not just a dream. That's a real person, a future that hasn't happened yet.
And Akari, a child laughing under a cherry tree, her face a blend of Aoi and May, a descendant already written into time.
They were never constructs. They are your blood, pulled forward by the jutsu to show you what you would lose if you stayed weak.
I buried my own future daughter, and I couldn't save either of them. What kind of monster does that make me?
A grandfather who will give his last breath so you can build a world where they live. Now wake up, Aoi. Protect the timeline.
The dream dissolved into white. Aoi's grief and rage fused into a single burning purpose.
May, Akari, I swear I'll find a way to save you, even if I have to tear fate apart.
The 37 dream years slammed into Aoi's teenage body. His chakra network screamed under the weight of 5 decades.
My ribs are caving in. My skull is splitting. This amount of life, it's too much for a 16-year-old shell.
His hands twitched under the desk, instinctively forming the same bloodline seal. But this time, he controlled it.
Kotaro's breathing technique. Inhale the mountain stillness. Exhale the weight of every loss.
The wild chakra bucked once more, then settled into a steady, terrifying spiral. The meter in the real world began to bend.
I can feel my desk, the cold classroom air, and in my muscles, the strength of a grandmaster.
A system alert flashed through his mind. The bloodline jutsu had logged every second. Dream cycle. 37 years. Mastery. Grandmaster. Physical age, 16. Spiritual age, 53.
Mei, Akari, I carry your names with me. This power will not go to waste.
And then, with the weight of a lifetime, Aoi opened his eyes. Amber light bled through the classroom. The classroom convulsed. Chakra roared from Aoi's body like a hurricane, snapping window frames and cracking the blackboard.
What? The meter. My tea. Aoi?
The chakra meter on the wall didn't just spike. It shattered, glass fragmenting as the needle bent backward and snapped. Students were hurled against the back wall, limbs tangled, eyes wide with primal terror. Some screamed, others simply froze, and in the center, Aoi sat unmoved, head propped on one hand. A faint stubble shadowed his jaw. His lips curved into a lazy half-grin. System alert. Dream cycle. 37 years completed. Mastery. Grandmaster. Real time elapsed. 8 hours.
Thursday, this chakra. It's not human. It's an old monster. Aoi, what did you do?
So this is 37 years compressed into 480 minutes. It's almost peaceful. Nothing they throw at me will ever feel heavy again.
That's not a student. That's a calamity wearing a genin slouch. The village needs to know.
The air grew heavy as Aoi simply breathed. The chaos of the classroom continued. But for him, it was like watching a storm from within the eye. The chair scraped across the floor like a blade drawn from a sheath. Aoi rose, and with him, a wave of ancient chakra lifted dust from every surface.
My body won't move. This pressure, it's pinning me to the spot like a paralysis jutsu.
The sensei's arm stretched forward, fingers trembling, but an unseen pressure shoved him back into his chair. He couldn't close the distance.
Mei's gentle hands, Akari's laugh on the training ground. They exist in a future this world hasn't seen yet.
He walked past the shattered chakra meter. Burnt wires still spat erratic sparks. The remains of the device crunched under his sandals.
Awo, the Hokage, you can't just...
He did not answer. The only sound was his steady footsteps on the creaking wooden floorboards.
8 hours for them, 37 years for me. And I'll spend every remaining second ensuring they get to live.
He reached the door and didn't look back. The morning light swallowed his silhouette, leaving behind only the echo of his chakra.
That crooked headband. It looked like a crown for the god of a dream he just woke from. Nothing will ever be the same.
The courtyard sunlight hit him like a wall of heat, but he didn't flinch. He simply stopped, lifting his face to the sky.
Mei, Akari, Kotaro.
The names escaped his lips as silent breaths, and with them came the flood. His eyes burned. A tear carved a hot trail through the stubble on his jaw and splashed onto his wrinkled uniform.
You were my wife, my daughter, not dreams. People who bled and loved and died, and I buried you both.
Behind him, the ghost of the mountain monastery wavered, cherry petals falling into nothing.
Grandfather, you trapped me in a cage of years, but you gave me a life worth every scar.
A single tear plummeted to the dust, and in its crystal curve, he saw Mei's gentle hands and Akari's fierce grin. He inhaled, and the air tasted of 37 rainy seasons and 1,000 sparring matches under the pines. When he opened his eyes, the tears had stopped. His gaze was a blade, and the future was its target. He walked into the mission assignment hall, ignoring the whispers that followed his crooked headband. At the desk, a bored clerk didn't even look up.
I'm taking an S rank. Solo.
The clerk snorted, chair creaking. S rank? You? The boy who sleeps through every exam?
37 years of sleep. That joke lost its edge somewhere around Dream Year 10.
Aoi didn't answer. He simply let a fraction of his chakra slip the leash. The air crystallized. The clerk's laughter strangled in his throat, his pupils shrinking to pinpricks. Aoi's amber eyes glowed faintly, holding centuries of stillness. The clerk saw a grandfather, not a genin. Without another word, the clerk's shaking hand pushed a red-bordered mission scroll across the counter.
One step closer to a future where they exist. Hold on, May. Akari, I am coming.
The village gate loomed ahead. Aoi's sandals scraped the dirt road, each step a decree.
Aoi, wait, please. I don't understand any of this.
Aoi stopped. He didn't turn around. His voice was low, but it carried the weight of a mountain.
8 hours for you? For me, it was 37 years. I had a wife, May, a daughter, Akari. I buried them both.
Wife? Daughter? This child, he's lived an entire life while I blinked.
They weren't just dreams. They were my blood, pulled forward in time to show me what I'd lose if I stayed lazy. Now I am all that's left, to protect a future they might still exist in. So, I am leaving.
Aoi, I am so sorry, I never knew.
Apologies don't change the past, only the future. And I have a lot of work to do.
He didn't look back. The sensei stood frozen, watching the boy who had lived a lifetime vanish beyond the gate. Beyond the gate, the forest swallowed him in shadow. The dream mountain shimmered once behind his shoulders, then began to fade. A blue light flickered between the trees. Kotaro's spirit took form, his old eyes wet with pride and sorrow.
You were never meant to carry this pain alone. May and Akari, they are your future, not your ghosts.
My future. Then they can still be born.
If you protect the timeline, a catastrophe is coming that would erase our bloodline. Your training was to stop it.
A vision shimmered beside him. Mei as a proud kunoichi, Akari as a laughing child, their faces full of life.
I'll find you. Both of you. Not in a dream, in the real world, under the sun.
Then go. Become the Grand Master they needed. I'll be watching, always.
Kotaro faded into the wind. The last cherry blossom of the dream landed on Aoi's shoulder, then turned to dust.
Goodbye, grandfather. I won't waste the years you gave me.
A single step cleared the forest edge. The world opened into a wide field under a burning sunrise. Aoi inhaled. The air tasted of freedom and responsibility, the weight of a timeline not yet broken. Then he released it, the Grand Master's cloak. Blue fire erupted around his shoulders, roaring into a majestic mantle.
This isn't just my power, it's their legacy. Mei's gentle hands, Akari's fierce spirit, they'll fuel every jutsu I cast.
Behind him, the last echo of the Dream Mountain dissolved into the dawn. The village's chakra-sensitive alarms flickered. He didn't look back. The village had seen a boy sleep. Now it would tremble at the shinobi who woke.
No more naps, no more minimum scores. I'll carve a future where they can laugh under the sun.
The faint afterimage of the mountain monastery shimmered one final time. Kotaro's blessing sealed onto his soul. With the S-rank scroll clutched in his hand, Aoi tightened his crooked headband and broke into a shinobi sprint. 8 hours had passed for the world. 37 years had passed for him, and his final mission had just begun. Mid-sprint, Aoi slowed. The forest's edge held a quiet he had never known in the dream. A single tear traced his cheek, heavier than any wound. Inside its curve, Mei's gentle smile and Akari's fierce grin shimmered for an instant.
I'll find you, not in a dream, in the real world, under the sun. Wait for me.
Then he formed a single hand seal, chakra flared, and the Shunshin scattered leaves into a vortex. The forest fell silent. Only the imprint of his sandals remained in the moss. Where he had stood, a faint chakra mirage of 3 figures. A man, a woman, a child, held for a breath, then faded. The sun climbed higher. The path ahead was empty, but the air hummed with a promise. A lazy boy who slept 8 hours woke as a legend, and somewhere,
two souls waited for him to come home. The dawn broke over the village, and with it, the afterimage of a mountain monastery briefly crowned the skyline. Kotaro's spirit smiled, his ancient eyes finally at peace, the weight of 50 years lifting like morning mist. The field where Aoi vanished lay empty, but his chakra still warmed the air, a lingering promise, a faint echo of a family. A man, a woman, a child, flickered like a memory of sunlight. Cherry petals swirled one last time, catching the morning gold, then turned to dust. A laugh, pure, bright, undeniably a child's, drifted on the breeze, and the world felt a little less heavy. It was the promise of Akari, still waiting to be born into a safer world. Kotaro's light faded, his watch complete, his faith sealed in the bloodline he'd given everything to protect. 37 years of dream, for one chance to protect a future that hasn't lived yet. And somewhere beyond the horizon, a lazy boy who became a grandmaster ran toward it, carrying 37 years in his stride.